My younger self, what's your story?
To my younger self, what's your
To
story?
my younger self.
To 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 my younger self. To my younger self.
To my younger self, what's your story? To my younger self, what's your story?
Well, hello and good morning. Good morning. How is everybody doing? It is so wonderful to see you. Today is Tuesday, November 1st. Can you believe that God has been so faithful? He has been great. And we are in the 11th month of the year 2022. Who would have thought? But here we are. My name is Zoe Baraka. Of course, the show is To My Younger Self. This is where we tell stories from our past that will propel us into the future. Welcome to the show. Who is in the room? I want you to do what we always do. Go in there and say hello. Greet us in your local dialect. We want to hear from you. Hello, Francisca. Good morning. Where are you watching us from, my dear? It is so good to see you. Where have you been? We missed you. All right, like we always do. Let us go in there and greet each other from all parts of Africa, okay? Baraka dazua to you, Sanunku dazua yayade. Kakwana lafia. I hope you slept well. It is so good to see you. I just greeted you in the Hausa language. I'm always telling you guys the Hausa dialect is one of the oldest languages really in the world, because it is one of those languages that cannot be replicated no matter what, right? Ya ken tuma fuduewala tuma awela tupose wanambarka. I am so grateful that you are here with us. I just greeted you in Kasal, which is my mother tongue, or should I say my father tongue. In Dinao to you, Wezo, Leke, it is good to see you. If you are from the Volta region of Ghana, no matter where you are in the world, I greet you. Please, please greet me back in your local dialect. Etusen Akwaba, Denya Mawachi. I am greeting you in different variations of the Akan language. God bless you for joining us. Sawubonani to you if you speak Zulu, South Africa. Stand up as always. Ibella to you, Ibioki Bari to you. It is good to see you. This is Moshi. Te Oyo 10 to all of our Ghana-speaking friends all over the world. We thank you all, you guys, for just upholding Ghana, because Ghana truly does belong to the Ghana people. I just said it. Ekaro to you, Ekabo to you. We greet you. If you speak Yoruba, I greet you. Nagadef to you, to those of you who speak Wolof, especially in Senegal. Thank you for joining us as always. Jambo, habari gani, habari ya osubwe. Karibu sana to you. If you speak Swahili, I am greeting you. Kotong, amohelang to you, to all of our Sesotho speaking friends in Botswana and surrounding areas. I greet you. Nyasi to you, Aloy Domilake, we greet you. Kotoli to you, to our Fulani speaking friends, or should I say our Fofoldi speaking friends and our Fulani friends, we greet you. If you speak what's the word? Creole, I greet you. Akei to you, to all of our Haiti Sheri people. Bom dia to you if you speak Portuguese. Bonjour to you, of course, if you speak French. Buongiorno, buenos dias, imaraba to you. We are very happy to see you. And yes, welcome to the show. Let's see who is in the room. You are watching from Maryland. Francisca, it is so good to see you. Thank you. Christabel, you're watching us from Ottawa. How is Canada. I do believe that's Canada, right? I think my geography is off today. Producer Elsie says, Accra, you mean? Yes, I mean Accra. All right. I did say Ghana, didn't I? Let me jump into this right away because it's already 5 minutes into the show. Today is an incredible day because we are merging fashion with storytelling, and I am extremely excited. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were out there in Jamaica by way of Ghana because Ruth Wade was here with us, and what an incredible storyteller she is, right? And because of Ruth, well, let me not say because of Ruth, because she kind of paved the way for us to open the doors of African storytelling just a little bit and invite in all of our other friends from different parts of the Caribbean. Today, we have another incredible storyteller from Jamaica, by way of New York, actually, because she does live here, but she is from Jamaica originally. And we are going to have an incredible time. She is a fashion designer, and I have admired her from afar for a very long time. And in recent times, God opened the door and I was able to talk to her. And now she is here to share some stories and, of course, share with us her fashion. Let me introduce to you Hope Wade. Okay. Hope Wade was born in Kingston, Jamaica. She is a graduate of Convent of Mercy Academy Alpha. She holds an AAS degree from New York City Technical College and a BFA degree from Cooper Union College. Let me tell you guys, there's so many accolades in here. My mouth is going to fumble a bit, so forgive me in advance. She is an international fashion designer and owner of Hope Wade Design Fashion Company with a store in Nyack, New York. In February 2022, Darlene Love, rock and roll icon, wore the Hope Wade design couture suit in performance on ABC TV The View with Whoopi Goldberg. The big guns are here. In November 2021, she kind of acted as the executive producer, owner of the highly successful Rockland Fashion Week at the Palisades Center in New York, which is happening this November, actually November 5th, which is this Saturday. Okay, again in Nyack, New York. It's going to be at the Palisades Center. Guys, you cannot miss it. If you are in New York, you have to be at the Rockland Fashion Week. It's just plain and simple. In April 2021, she received the first Woman of Distinction Award from the State Assembly of New York. Man, the big guns are here. In 2018, she designed the red silk gown worn by Academy Award and rock and roll icon Darlene Love, which was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum in Cleveland, Ohio. She has also designed the gold gown worn by Miss Jamaica World, Khadija Robinson, in China 2018. In 2017, she's an honoree for Jam Car for her outstanding community service. She is a recipient of the Women of Excellence Award from the Alpha Academy Alumni Association in Jamaica. Her designs have graced the runways of London, the Caribbean, and New York Fashion Week. Hope was the top 3 finalists in Project Runway, a critique with Tim Gunn. She is the president of Alpha Tri-State Alumni Association. It's a 501c3, and the president of Jamcar, Jamaica Civic and Cultural Association of Rockland. She sits on the board of Cooper Union College Alumni Association and the Nyack Business Council. She has received numerous awards for her community involvement. Of course, she is a mighty woman of God. That's how I know Hope Wade, as a mighty woman of God. And of course, that is one of the biggest reasons why she is on To My Younger Self. She is married and has a beautiful, beautiful daughter. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, because you know I can talk, right? I talk a lot. Let us go in here and please say welcome, welcome, welcome. Please say welcome to Hope in all of the dialects. Okay, I do need you to just say hello and welcome to her in all of the Ghanaian dialects and all of the African dialects. Say hello to the absolutely incredible Hope Wade. Hi.
Good morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning. Oh my God.
Jamaican patois. How you do? All right.
Let me tell you, what a beautiful piece you're wearing. My goodness.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited about being on the show and to be a part of the motherland. We know that we're all from the motherland, so it's good to have some, connection. And thank you
Yes.
for having me.
Wow. Well, you know what? Like we always do on To My Younger Self, we have no questions. We just say over to you. And from now on, my job is done. You drive the show. So you're going to tell us some stories and you're going to show us some designs. Before we do that, though, guys, let me show you what Hope has been up to last year and what you can expect this year going forward, especially on November 5th. Okay. And then when we come back, we're going to have Hope just kind of tell us some stories from her past and how she got into fashion and all that great stuff. We'll be right back.
So it's all about Rockland Fashion Week 2022. But let's talk about Rockland Fashion Week 2021. It was amazing. What was so good about it was that, at first you're thinking, okay, fine, you have a dream, a concept, and then it comes together. The Palisades Center hosted us. And of course, let me just say, it was so successful that literally 2 days later, they had me in to sign again. So anyway, but we had over 500 patrons. And when you look at all the floors, all 3 floors, people looking down. And then of course, we had our paying customers as well. But the beauty of the runway was you could see yourself. We had tall models, short models, younger models, older models. We even had a child designer. And then of course, we had an autistic model. And we had a model who was legally blind. So we had the whole 9 yards. But the lighting was amazing. You know what I mean? The runway, we had over 80 models. So the very professional show, we had 12 designers, which means that each designer was able to show their work. And of course, we had entertainment. We had a Jamaica reggae artist. We had Stephen Blake. We had Mark Wade. So it was just an amazing time. And we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again on November 5th, Saturday, 2022. It's going to be at the Palisades Center. You have to be there. And then after the show, all these people are coming up to me and I'm like, wow, it was that successful. And I owe it all to my team and to you who came to see the show, you who visualized the show. Like for example, we had quite a few press media there, News 12, we had the whole 9 yards. And it just goes to show that when you put a good product out and a whole lot of hard work, that it will become successful. So of course, our success is based on you being there. But also, one of the good things, Visit Nyack called and they introduced us to Nyack Hospital, their breast wellness department. And so we're gonna have 12 models who have thankfully survived breast cancer who will be walking this November. So we're just pumped already. Of course, we're gonna give thanks to Hotel Nyack for hosting our launch party. So that was a big event in itself and we're a live performance. So, hashtag stay excited and hashtag RFW. So it's gonna be Saturday, November 5th, 2022 at the Palisades Center at 5:30. So you can come and, come in your regalia. Okay, come come and bring it, okay? Because it's a fashion show. Looking forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. All right. I need to go get my regalia. I don't know where I'm going to get one, but I need a regalia of some sort. What an incredible...
All your style is working. That's it. It's kicking.
I know. What an incredible show. Well, anyway, this was just to tell the audience what you have been up to and what you're going to be doing in the next couple of days. But you know what? Over to you. We're a storytelling platform, so I want to hear more. How did you get here? This is huge.
Well, let's start from how I got into fashion.
Yes.
My older brother, he used to sew, so I wasn't interested because he used to sew for the football teams in our local area. And it was overnight, he'd be trying to fill an order. My mother who sewed, she'd be trying to help him. So that was a big turnoff. I was never going to do sewing. But anyway, what happened was I was a foreign student. And when I was at Cooper Union College, I was recruited specifically for this job. And after being there for a little over a year and a half, I was sent to Chicago to do a trade show, and it was so successful that the president asked my boss to train me in that direction. After about maybe 3-4 months, my boss called me in his office, and he said to me, the car that I drive is from the company. Okay, the house I live in is from the company. And I was thinking, oh, who cares? And then he said, stations I go on, they're all from the company. They are grooming you for my job. You're fired.
What?
It was that simple. At that time, there was no hashtag Me Too. I mean, I was young. I didn't know, you could go to somebody or a lawyer or whatever. So I just left. And so
I'm sorry. Wait. Where was this? This is in
this is in Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, that's Brooklyn, New York. He just like he told me the truth. It wasn't like he was like, I'm not satisfied with your work, because that could not be true. He just told me the truth. Everything I have is from the company, and you're not gonna get this from me. So, needless to say, I just bought a new car at the time. So I was trying to hustle to say, how can I continue my payment? Plus, of course, an apartment. So, as it turned out, I got like freelance positions here and there. But the church I attended at the time, Redeeming Love Christian Center, which is in Nanuet, New York, they had a New Year's Eve event. And so Pastor Sarah, who was the late Pastor Sarah Otterback, she announced that we should all dress formally. So I was trying to think, oh my gosh, what am I going to wear? When you're not working, it's a different thing completely. So in desperation, my mother, so I told her I was a foreign student. So my mother used to come to the States and stay for like 2-3 months at a time, and then go back home. And she used to sew, so she had a sewing machine in my apartment. So I was desperate. So one of my friends, who's now a professor at Syracuse, James, he came by to tell me that he was going to go to another college to do his master's. And I was like, James, can I make something on you? And he was like, oh, do you know my man? I said, I know, but I won't tell them what, but I need you to help me. So I cut this, I was a graphic designer, so I could cut straight. But I cut this basic structure on him and called my mom how to use this contraption on a machine. Anyway, so I turned up for New Year's Eve service in this beautiful piece. And my friends were like, I thought you said you weren't going to buy anything. I didn't. I made this. They did not believe me. So I had to go in the bathroom, turn it inside out. And they go, oh, yeah, you made that. You made it. Calling from me. And that's literally how my business started. My girlfriend started. Wow. Yes. And that was years ago. But at the time, if you ordered something, it was the same price. It didn't matter how elaborate, how simple. $50, $25 for material, and $25 was my profit. And I did that for 5 years.
Wow. And now I know I've not been to your shop before, but now you have a shop, and I'm reading this is like a little sliver of your bio, and I'm seeing Darlene Love, and the Queen of Christmas. She's won your designs like 2 or 3 times. This is incredible. Wow. So
stories, how I started working for her, designing for her. She was on the Wendy Williams show. So they have this segment called the shoe cam. So I just happened to walk into the room, and the shoe cam was on her shoes. She had these beautiful crochet shoes with like a flare. And I was like, wow, that is so beautiful, so unique, because I'm a shoeaholic. And then they panned up to her dress, and I'm like, what? This is a star. What kind of dress is that? That's a dress you could, pick up in a department store. So I called, I left a message and said, you should be wearing Hopeway Designs. So she did not return my call for 3 weeks. And at the time, after a week, 2 weeks, I felt that, I probably insulted her. But she called, and she was like, I was on the road. I was promoting 20 Feet from Stardom, which they won the Academy Award for. So I was like, so then she invited me to her house. And let me tell you, when she opened her wardrobe, I was like, thank God that I did not see this wardrobe, or else I would never have been able to, call it anything. So she told me that because she was doing so much, travel all over the United States, the studio that produced the film, they had given her a stylist, and whatever the stylist put out for a show, that's what she wore. Anyway, I designed, when you have a client, doesn't matter who it is, for me, I have to interview, consult. And so I started designing for her from then. And as a result, she has worn my clothes in the White House, with President Obama and First Michelle. And also she has, many television shows. And recently she had a very significant birthday, and people from all over the world were able to view her designs, Hopeway designs, that she said that she was wearing. So that's my little story.
Oh my God. I'm thinking now, I'm hearing your story, and I'm thinking this is the spirit of one of a woman, two of a Christian woman, and just of women of African and Caribbean descent. I mean, adversity started all of this. Somebody literally just kicked you out because they wanted to hog their little space.
Yeah.
And in desperation, you had to
Yes.
sew your own clothes, because if you were working, you would have had to go and just pay for someone to kind of
Yes.
design it or buy it off of a rack, and nobody would know your talent. So
Nobody.
adversity brought you here. Wow. Now
Yes.
I'm very curious about how you grew up in Jamaica. Tell me some of your earliest memories in Jamaica and how, because you
So
are so
uh,
like,
my
you know.
father was a police, and my
Mhm,
mother was a teacher. And because my father was a police, when I was 5 years old, we moved to Port Royal,
mhm,
which is on the tip of Kingston. Like when you come into Jamaica, one of the two main airports is
mhm,
the Norman Manley International Airport, which is situated in Kingston. But literally about 6-7 miles down the road is Port Royal. And Port Royal was one of the largest and wickedest cities in the world, and there was a big earthquake, and so 3/4 of that particular part of the island was submerged. But it's a very popular town. It's a fish town. They're known for the beaches and the fish. And the police training school at the time was situated there. So what happened was, my father being a police, we moved to Port Royal, and so I had a younger brother. I'm one of five, well, six siblings. And my youngest brother at the time, I remember when he was born, when we came home from school, because the police took us to school and took us back home. Like most evenings, we ran up to the house. New babies in the house, and there'd either be an ambulance outside or he wasn't there because he had a hole in his heart. If he lived in these days, it would have been a simple surgery. But I remember it was you know what? I'm thinking now. It was a New Year's morning when that's the first time I ever saw my dad cry,
oh,
and he died. My little brother died on a New Year's morning. So Port Royal has a lot of important memories for us. My father was the head of the police constabulary band, which meant that every fifth Sunday there was a parade.
mm,
And at the time, now here's where my fashion sense, I think, came into being. My mom was her mother was black and German, and her dad was Indian. And she had this very wavy black hair, and she used to comb in one, and a little simple lipstick. But she used to wear this, like most of those times I remember, she used to wear this beautiful white French guipure coat, like a coat dress. And that was my earliest fondest memory. And of course, we'd be all dressed up, with the tulle dress at the time, because you had to represent, my dad. And so my two brothers and my sister, my older sister, we'd be dressed to the nines. And my sister at the time, my mom sometimes she sewed, so she
mhm.
made the same dress for me and my sister. My sister hated it.
Oh,
I remember this pink dress. They called it Three Sisters, where you have three.
right.
Right. So my sister, she hated it because she was about 7 years older than me, and why she wear the same clothes as this little girl, But yeah. So we had, even today, whenever I go home to Jamaica, we have to go to Port Royal
Uh-huh.
because we have to greet friends. I remember when Jamaica had their significant 50th independence. They had this real big campaign, "Come on home," and so we came home, and there's a traditional dance. It's called street dance, and it's usually done the night of our independence as a nation. So what happened was, we're all back home and we have to go to all the different places. So Port Royal was significant in our memories because that's where we grew up for quite a few of our years, our younger years, right? So what happened? I told you that we have a lot of friends. So we
Mhm.
came to Port Royal for the street dance around 8:30, 9 o'clock in the night. And we figured, well, no, it was a little later. So we figured, was it too late to go and, wake up somebody, they're older persons. And so we came back home, came back to New York, and we got a distress phone call. Oh, what did we do to you? Did we offend you in any way? Why? What are you talking about? Because you came to Port Royal and everybody heard you guys were there. You didn't stop to visit. I'm like, oh my God. So after that, we don't care how late it is, 2 o'clock ding dong or knock on that door. Hi, we're here. But Port Royal holds very, very fond memories.
Wow. My condolences to how old was your brother?
He was 11 months old.
Oh, wow.
Old. And it's funny, my mom is a dramatic person. Well, she was a dramatic person. Like, for example, if there was a funeral and she went to one of our co-workers' funeral, she would be crying so hard that people would come over and start comforting her. And they say, oh my gosh, I didn't know this person who deceased had another daughter. But she was so embarrassed she wouldn't answer because she was, crying. But anyway, my mom, when my little brother passed, thinking about it wasn't a sudden thing because he was back and forth. And as a
Mhm.
matter of fact, I was like 5, so I wasn't allowed to hold him because he was so delicate. But
Mhm.
she had a heart attack about maybe 2, 3 months after his death. She was in such high mourning.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, Port Royal. Hmm.
Wow. I'm so sorry to hear that, but I love that you described your mom as a little dramatic. When I think about you, I don't think you're dramatic, but I think you're like one of those people that's just like the life of the party. Like, hey, I'm here. Let's just do it, right?
You know what? Okay, so yeah, let us be truthful. I am the life of the party. But growing up again in Port Royal, my parents entertained a lot. As a
Wow.
tradition for Christmas. Now remember, we lived on the police campus. We call it the police compound,
Mm-hmm.
and from the commissioner of police all the way down to sergeants and stuff. So every Christmas, they would have these. The children would get Christmas presents. I remember one
Mm-hmm.
year my dad was a Santa Claus and he came in a helicopter. So of course we were supposed. I didn't know who it was. And my brother Patrick, man, he always knows stuff. He's like, that's daddy. I'm like, what? Anyway, so after Christmas morning, when all the police children get the gifts, and we used to get them really, really nice gifts. But so what happened? They started to go to the different homes. So remember, all these men, like about maybe 20, 25 men and their families, they come to each house, and our house always was the last house because we were so entertaining. And I was a very, very shy child. This was talk like around.
You were?
I actually was. Like around like say 10, 11, I was extremely shy. And
Wow.
so I remember one time I said to myself, you need to stop because nobody knows you. Because most of the time when people come to the house, they really come to my parents, not us. But they always introduce the children. And so I said, nobody knows you. And because they've never met you before, they don't know you're shy. So what you need to do is, your parents are going to introduce you. So and it was okay. Let me tell you how shy I was. So they'd introduce my sister and then my two brothers. Then they would literally have to pull me to introduce me to people. That's how bad it was. So I said to myself, to my younger self, nobody knows you. They may not ever see you again. So why are you making the worst impression the first time? So just tell yourself this when you're meeting them to say hi. They don't know how, that inside you're crumbling and you're nervous. And that's how I got on my shyness. I actually spoke to my younger self. You need to get it together. And I
Wow.
use that today if I have to go on stage because I'm also an actress, but if I go on stage or, the fashion line and, at the very end, the designer comes out, it could be a very big show, it could be a small show. I just tell myself, nobody knows that you're nervous. Just get on with it. They don't know you're nervous until you say you're nervous. And that's what I do. I literally talk to myself.
Wow, I should learn that from you. I think we're just gonna start, hashtagging that nobody knows you. Nobody, it could be the one meeting and that's it. So just get on with it. Just
Just
do
get
what
on
you
with
came here to do. And wow. Now that
it.
you're talking about, go
Example,
ahead.
like if you someone who's very, very ill, depends on the progression of the illness. You really don't know they're ill, right? Let us
Right.
take, for example, that actor from Black Panther, Boseman.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew he was ill.
Nobody knew. Yeah.
Apart from his inner circle, but he had his I want to emphasize that he just put his face on like everything is okay.
Mm. Mm.
So until unless you tell someone, they don't know.
Wow.
It did.
That is, you just preached right now. That would preach.
Hallelujah.
Amen. Now, so now that you've told me about all these incredible things, I'm thinking you had such a happy childhood. Was all of Jamaica just happy? Because all my Jamaican friends are like, man, I had such a happy childhood. I mean, we were just out there just having fun, right?
Yeah, we were innocent, and you know, um, so I have friends who, let us talk about the ugly subject of molestation, right?
Mm,
Thankfully for us, that did not happen to our family,
mm,
But I have a few friends who were molested, and like it's years later they tell you about it, and so you can understand how it has colored their lives even till now.
mhm,
My parents, especially my mom, was very careful about
mm.
us, and
Wow.
my dad was a very laid back personality, he had a
Mhm,
big personality. And so he was very funny. Like
mhm.
before we go into bed at night, he'd come in and give us some jokes. And he was very funny. But if he said, "You heard me," that's it. There's nothing to discuss. And a couple of times, my siblings and myself, we talk on the phone at least twice a week on not Zoom, on Messenger or whatever, Facebook. And so we were counting different things that happened in our lives. But I remember a couple of times my brothers, they wanted to go on these football trips to Cayman Islands or to another island, and my father said no, and they couldn't understand. But because my father knew that the coach had a reputation for touching boys,
Oh,
I
wow.
guess he didn't want to explain that to them. It wasn't until years after when the coach got arrested and stuff like that. But now they understand why. And there was no discussion. And at the time, one of my brothers, Patrick, my older brother, that he was a star football player, and so for him not to go, it meant that the team basically would have lost.
Mhm.
But he said that was very firm. That's it. You heard me. And when my dad said my father, you could say to go clean your room, spread your bed, sweep this, whatever. Yeah, yeah, okay. It'll take all day. But once he said, "You heard me," oh, it's done. It's done. Done.
Oh my God, it's so incredible to think about. Now I'm drawing parallels because in my house it was just like that. African fathers, at least in the part of of Africa where I come from, which is Ghana, when your father says that's it, the one word, it's done. That's it. You can't go back, and no speaking back, no explanations. Why, Dad? You just did it.
Yes.
Wow, that
And
is
um,
incredible.
the Bible says, "Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God has given thee." And a lot of times we think, oh, it just means, okay, fine, my father said this or my mother said that. I'll just do it, and therefore God's going to give me a long life. But based on what the conversation I just brought up, if we didn't listen to our parents, we could have been in harm's way, which meant our lives could have been shortened. Or, the term long life, it means long and prosperous life. Your life will be colored with all these negative things, because people who go through trauma, even though they look like everything is okay, there's always something complicated about their life. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Unless they come to terms with it, and a lot of times it takes a lot of prayer or a lot of time in a psychiatric chair.
mhm.
So when you honor your parents, sometimes we can't see things. And I mean, the truth of the matter is that a child's brain is not fully developed until they're 20, 19, 20. So just imagine if your parents are telling you something, how are you going to really reason back with them? Because you don't have the experience. Like my mother was a very wise woman. I remember once she told me, I was about 13 years old, and no, I remember she was a teacher, right? So she told me this family secret, and I remember thinking in my head, "What? Oh my gosh!" He told me that, but the lady could always see my brain. She said, "Anyway, I'm not telling you this for gossip. I'm telling you this for a story for your life. And what I'm trying to explain to you is about trust. And I was 13, and she said, you cannot trust everybody. As a matter of fact, your siblings, you can trust them now, but when they get older and they get married, their allegiance will be to their family, not to you. You can trust us as your parents now because we are here to protect you. But I want you to understand about that word trust. You cannot trust anyone exclusively because there could come a time when they have to make a choice, and they will always choose to protect themselves. And if you have that buffer, you won't get hurt in life. And I've used that for years. Years.
Wow.
I mean, I taught my daughter that. She's a very, very wise woman, my mom. You know, I've used that for life.
Thank you for sharing that, because you know what? I'm taking that. I've taken two things from you right now today. One, why are you shy? They don't know you. They don't know you're nervous. Just get on with it. And now this one, you know what? Don't trust anyone exclusively. It is impossible. Now let's go on and talk about the Rockland Fashion Show. I'm really excited about it. How did it come about, and why? And why are you doing it? Just how tell me a story of how it started.
The story, girl.
Story.
Well, Rockland Fashion Week. Okay, so I've done Caribbean Fashion Week, which
Mhm,
basically put me on the map.
mhm.
It's produced by Pulse Management. A lot of times you see these black models on the front cover of Vogue or Essence magazine. Most of them are from Jamaica, and it's through Pulse Management. So they produce this event every year called Caribbean Fashion Week. It's a very expensive event, but it's also well in terms of media and everything. So I've done it about maybe 6 times. I've done London Fashion Week and I've done New York Fashion Week. And I was thinking to myself, the area that I live in, which is Rockland County, has so many stars, so many creative persons. So why aren't we doing something? And so I actually wrote. Now, as a creative person, sometimes I don't write things down. I think it and I do it. But I actually wrote down why I wanted to do a Rockland Fashion Week, and I incubated that in my mind for 4 years, which is a long time for me. But I saw this opportunity where I just felt that the Lord was saying to me, now is the time to do it. And in less than 6 weeks, I put the first Rock and Fashion Week together at Stony Point. It was very, very successful. We had a sold out audience. We had almost over 200, 300 people that came to the show. So the Palisade Center actually got in contact with me, and I didn't see it. I didn't see their message for about 2 months. So like one day
Oh my.
I was like, oh my gosh, I mean, I lost an opportunity. So I finally called and they said, no, 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 we were impressed. We heard about your show and we'd love to have you host the show at the Palisades Center Mall, which is like the fifth largest mall in the US, so, on the Northeast.
Yes.
So anyway, so 2019, no, 2019, right. So then came COVID. So that was off the table. And so there were so many limitations and restrictions. But finally in 2021, they said, okay, let's do it now. And it's a lot of hard work, but we had at the time we had 12 designers, and the show was phenomenal. We had I told like at least 500 people, on the embankments, and we had a paying audience. And so now it's 2022, and my hashtag is hashtag stay excited, because like I said, nobody knows what's going on inside here unless you tell them.
Right.
So the show is going to be this Saturday, November 5th, and we're going to be showcasing 14 designers. But
Wow.
one of that's really, really important is we have aligned ourselves with Nike Hospital, their breast health center, and we're showcasing women who are breast cancer survivors who will be walking the runway. And that is so exciting. We also have a young lady who has Dragon syndrome, which is seizures. She's 10 years old. She will also be walking the runway. And we have an autistic model who will also be walking the runway. So when I say that you can see yourself on the stage, a lot of times when you think about these big shows, it's just really small models. But for me, it's important that all sizes are represented, and in this particular case, situations are being represented. So we're gonna be celebrating, and it's gonna be a great occasion. We're having our official launch party the night before at Hotel Nyack, which is one of our sponsors,
Mhm.
and we're gonna have people who are a part of the show, like designers and stuff like that, designers, sponsors. where we acknowledge them. And then the big show is on Saturday, November 5th at 5:30 at the Palisades Center. And you know what I know? I found out now. I didn't know this before. Don't hold me to this. But this lady, she Dr. Pratt, she was one of the first NAACP presidents who lives in Nyack. So I'd invited her to the show last year, and she looked at the time and she said, "I'm sorry, I won't be able to make it because she observed the Sabbath." And then I saw her at the event. I'm like,
You're
"How?"
here.
And she says, "Oh, because the sun at that day, the sun goes down at 5:27." And I'm like, "What?
Huh?
How do you know that?" What I did not know. So now I'm talking to my Jewish friends and my other friends who observe the Sabbath, and they go, "Oh, of course, well, there's an app for that." I said, "What? You actually know when the sun is gonna go down?" I said, "Exactly." I was like, "Okay, so I learned something new."
5:27.
I learned something new because the very, very first show that we did in 2019, we had an Orthodox Jewish model, and her mom brought her literally minutes before the show started, but we understood that she had to observe the Sabbath. I thought it had dark, but oh no, they know when the sun. They know, they know.
So that is so funny. So is
Come on,
she going to be at the event this year?
which one? Oh, Dr. Pratt, yes, because she
Yeah.
will come when the sun goes down. Amazing,
I can't. Wow.
yes.
Oh, that is
It's actually
incredible.
a documentary on her life. It's called Pratt in the Hat because she always wears these amazing hats. Pratt
Hmm.
in the Hat. Hmm.
Wow. So will she be one of the designers, or she's just
No,
showing up just to enjoy it?
remember, but she's also an historic woman. She did a lot of
Mhm.
history. I think one of the streets they named a street after her in Nyack. She's in her
Wow.
90s. Brain is going everything, going beautiful.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. What an
Hmm.
incredible story. So now I'm sitting here going, man, you must be working like round the clock because you're working with models, you're working with musicians and makeup artists. And how are you pulling all of this together? Because I'm thinking this is not all just hope. So how
No,
does it work? I'm
it
so
takes.
curious.
I
What's the
have a
story there?
I have a team, and even though it came a little overwhelming, but I have a team. It's about 10 of us, and we
Okay.
have like our model coordinator, Karen Banks. So she has been training because, okay, so it's Rockland County, Rockland Fashion Week. So I need for our county to be represented. So
Mhm.
um, what we've done is we do an open model call. And so we have like 14 models. So she trains the model. Then, of course, we have Faces of Beauty model team, which is a professional model group. And then we have other professional models that come in for the show. Then we have, of course, I have an assistant, Meredith, who, she's the one that puts, she's the one like has to remember how my brain ticks, you know. But we have two people who work on sponsorship. We have, people who are coordinating the show itself. So I'm the overall person, but the nitty gritty they do. But like right now, of course, I have to be, like go to the sponsors, pick up gifts, da da da. Yesterday we were up on Sunday night until well, actually to Monday morning until after 2:30, putting the journal together. And I was very tired because for the weekend I was working really hard. And then so went to bed. I had to get up at 9 o'clock to go to the mall so that we could, meet the director so that we could work out the plan for the
For the
stage.
runway. Yes.
And by the time, run up and down after that 4 o'clock, I was so exhausted. I said, that's it. I was physically tired and going to my bed 2:30, 3 o'clock is just the norm. But because I knew I was very, very exhausted, I should have just stopped like around mid 12:30, 1 o'clock and just curate my rest of my nights. No, I just went on, kept going. So I had to get up at 7:30. So that alone, I was just so exhausted. I said, that's it, I'm done. I'm just gonna go home and rest. That's a word that maybe does not really conform to my lifestyle. But at 6:30, I had to get up again, and I had to go pick up a certificate for one of our prizes. That was worth almost $2,000. I couldn't have say, well, I'll call you tomorrow. I'll pick it up. I came back home, and then of course I'm an intercessor, So and by 9 o'clock I had to be online to pray. And then I just said, let's call it a night. So but yeah, I have a team. I really do. And I can't say enough about them.
Wow. Well, I want to say congratulations. I'm listening to you and I'm going, success is not cheap. Anyone who tells you success is cheap is a bold-faced liar. It takes a lot of work. And no matter how Christian you are, no matter how many times you're praying, you need to put in the work. But I'm just so amazed at how even today you're like all put together. And I want to, you like it's 7:30 in the morning and you're just like, yeah, I mean, but I'm awake again and I'm doing it again.
Person, a night person too, but I'm a morning person. I know people who are just not good on mornings, especially early in the morning. I'm a morning person. Once I'm up, that's it.
You're up. Tell me the story about this necklace, this beautiful necklace you're wearing. One, did you design it? And
I aspire to do jewelry designs. I have a very eclectic way of looking at designs, but this piece right here was a friend that gave it to me, and it's like a large wooden panel that you can move on two sides, and it has these beautiful beads of different color. But I know it was handmade, but I don't think it was made in Africa, or I should say I don't know it was made in Africa. But I've had this for about at least 10 years. At least 10 years. I don't wear it very, very often because I want to look fresh. Every time I want to look fresh. But it's a beautiful dramatic. This kind of talks about my personality, the juju blonde hair, and then the bright, bold statement. So this kind of says a little about who I am.
Oh, I just love it. This is so incredible. First, I am just excited to know you. And now I know even a little more about you because you've told me all these incredible stories. And now you have become a part of this. We're building what we call a vault of African storytellers. And this vault is big. I mean, we started 2 years ago. So obviously, we have people coming through almost every week. And so now you will be the second Jamaican to kind of break through. Well, the other lady, kind of is
they just dropped off a different port. That's all. That's all.
Oh, I'm so excited about the Rockland Fashion Week. And guys, I know most of our audience is out in Africa and also, in different parts of the United States. For those of you who are in New York, I know a couple of you will watch later and stuff like that. The Rockland Fashion Week, I'm going to be there for the very first time this Saturday. So I'm very stoked about that. I've never been to a fashion show before, so I'm going to be looking at everything and everybody.
You know what? So I said I come in your regalia. Fashion is everything. You can wear a t-shirt, you could wear a gown, it doesn't matter. It's an expression of yourself.
Right.
Guy who's working here's the story. So the guy who's working the laborer, his most of the time, because he's out in the sun or in the elements, like he has a lot of paint on his stuff, his clothing, or he may have a pair of jeans on. After a while they get ripped. That's style we're wearing today. Hello. So really, when I say come here regalia, I mean come in anything that you can express yourself in. It doesn't matter.
Wow. This is incredible. Guys, please, even if you're not in New York or you're not in this area, if you're able to just show up. And if you know someone who is in New York who enjoys fashion, in fact, even if they don't enjoy fashion, just tell them about the Rockland Fashion Week. Okay, it is a national event. This is something that's happening in Rockland County, but it's a national event. It's a big deal. So just tell people about it and tell them to show up because you don't know who you might meet. You might meet Hope Wade. And I'm just going to put it in here that first I'm going to get a picture with you because listen, one day you're on the Hall of Fame of, fashion gurus or something. I get to show up this picture and go like, you know what?
I knew her when.
I know her. Okay, I have her number. I'm just going to be famous by proxy that way. So please. But we have a question for you. She's actually one of our producers, one of the best producers you can ever have, Elsie. She's asking, will the event be streamed online?
N- Okay, so we thought about that. We have a company, a film company that comes in to put the show together, but we have decided not to streamline it, live stream, I should say. So it will be on YouTube like a couple of days after. But no, the answer to that direct answer is no.
Wow. And I know they're asking because they're in Canada and so are not able to make it. And so being the storytellers and storytelling connoisseurs that they are, they probably want to kind of be like, can I at least watch all of this pizzazz online? So what we're going to do is once it's up on YouTube, we'll put a link, and on here on this show's bio, so that people can click on it, one click, and they can go on YouTube and watch it, generate some numbers, and just enjoy the show. This has been so incredible. I am just so stoked. I cannot wait to be on the show on Saturday, just kind of hanging with you. I know you'll be busy, but I'm gonna find you.
Yeah, you'll find me. You will find me.
We'll have an after watch party. Exactly. We can do that too. See, now that's a great idea right there. After everything, you can just organize an after watch party with friends and family.
Absolutely.
Come together with food and put it on a big screen. Now, as an African person, I'm very curious, and this is just, in my mind. Will there be any African materials that will be kind of used? I'm curious to see some of your designs, if you have them by you, just to show the audience what you do and things like that. And if you're collaborating with Africans.
But I will be, okay, so I have my African prints on the roll. I had a client who just recently came back from Morocco. That's one of the places I'd love to go one day. And she brought this fabulous fabric for me. That's gonna be on a runway. So as you can realize, I haven't even cut it as yet. But I have. Let me show you this fabric. That's it's gonna be on a runway. It's not even cut as yet. Can I run to it?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Go bring it. Yes. This is so incredible. And as we're waiting for Hope to get back, our big brother Nana Redamo is doing something incredible on Facebook, and I thought we should definitely get behind it and kind of let people know. Now, what he did was on October 29th, our big brother, who is a big To My Younger Self supporter, put on his page that this year he wants to do a project, which is to get 100 books each to 16 schools, one in each region, for the month of November and December as a Christmas gesture in Ghana. And he said that with 2,000 Ghana cities, we can easily get 100 books to each of these schools. And a lot of people have started kind of like donating and sponsoring schools and putting 100 books in each region already. So for those of you who are watching us right now, I do want you to support Nana Redamwa. Please, please, please. Listen, you can send $10, you can send $5. We will not say no to $500, $1,000, $1 million, but we want to put 100 books into all schools eventually. But for now, just 100 books to 16 schools across Ghana. Some regions have already been sponsored. So I want you to find Nana Redamwa on Facebook. Look on his page, and you will see the regions that have been sponsored already and the regions that need to be sponsored. And you can just kind of, if you're watching from here and you wanted to donate, we're going to put up the MTN numbers and things like that, and just kind of reference it to My Younger Self book drive. However, listen, $2, every little bit helps. There are so many children that need their imaginations stoked. They need to read books so they can dream for themselves. And we want to be a part of this. Who knows? We might have our big brother pass through one of these days to tell us about this project. So we're just waiting for Hope to come back. And well, there she is. Hi.
Can you see this spread?
Yes, I'm looking.
Beautiful.
Wow.
So This is the one I came from Morocco, and this is one of the prints right here that I'm gonna be using.
Oh, I see that. What country is that one from? The
This one
red.
I from, if I'm not mistaken, it's from Nigeria.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken, this one is from Nigeria. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, this one is from Nigeria.
That is incredible. You know,
So
all of the prints, you see how the designs are going. Most African prints all have names. And I don't know if the audience can help me with some of the names, and especially for those of you who
I
really,
didn't.
really know. They do. They all have names. Some of them would say things like Ahinepan Kasa, which is like good things do not make noise. They have symbols on them. They Dinkra symbols, so they all have meanings and things like that. I know. Lilioti says, Fashion Week in Rockland. Thanks for sharing all these years. Didn't know about this event again. Thanks for, wow, you didn't? Well, now you can go. Yes, this is from Morocco. Now, the beautiful thing is, these are designs that can easily have been manufactured in any part of Africa.
I'm sure. I'm sure. You know what?
I know.
To Nigeria in 2019. I was invited back to the Caribbean Fashion Week as a master designer,
Wow.
and they had a collaboration with African TV, Nigerian TV One. It's
Hmm.
called One, and they were supposed to be producing a show in Nigeria, and I was invited to go. And then, of course, in
COVID.
2021, and then of course COVID came. So I'm waiting on them to open that door again. But one of the things that I was very excited about was actually visiting this part of Africa. And as you say now I understand that. Now I'm very curious as to the names and maybe the history behind some of these prints.
Hmm.
But that was something that's important to me. I wanted to know what do some of these symbols mean. You know,
Hmm.
if it's a symbol, I'm not sure I will wear it. Put it that way.
Right. And then that way it kind of even gives some of the runway models a theme to go with. All of those, even the colors, I do know for a fact that they have names. I just don't know them. But
Right.
growing up, depending on what event you are going to, depending on what ceremony it was and things like that, it would determine the color you wore, of course, and it would determine the style and the fabric you wore and things like that. And I think they still do it. And so I'm waiting for at least Mama Doris, who I know is here, if she remembers some of the names. I only remember Ahine Pankasa. They used to have one that was like a Spidey one. I mean, it's so many of them, and but we're not here for that. So
No, actually, we are because I'm learning something that I didn't know before. That's really,
right.
really
But I am looking forward to when we can see Hope Wade not only on the big stage of America, but also collaborating. I'm a big advocate for Africa. I have never shied away from it. But not only collaborating with Nigerians, but Ghanaian, designers, and doing it big on a world stage like that. Not just, I'm looking forward to a big show like that. And so,
good.
how about we just dream it onto my younger self
Yeah,
together?
to my younger self, we're gonna do this. To my younger self, we thought about this, even though I may not remember, but I thought about this, and now I'm the older self, so it has to come into being. It doesn't have a year to happen.
Yes, yes. I look forward to it. And whatever we can do on this side, maybe some plugins. I don't know a lot of fashion designers because, as you can see, I'm a t shirt girl. But if I know someone who knows someone who knows someone, you never know, right? And we're
It just
looking
takes one
forward
person.
to it. Yes, it only takes one person. My goodness, Hope you came today, and I'm so excited. One, thank you for saying yes. Thank you for sharing your stories with us. Thank you for actually being that beacon of hope. And for the longest time, I kept saying, my goodness, she's up there. How do I, you know, how do...
Just one simple person.
and it took that one person. So I'm very excited you came on the show. I look forward to seeing you on Saturday. And guys, I will be posting some pictures. I'll be like unpaid paparazzi telling people, look what's happening in Rockland County, look what Hope is wearing. I'll be clicking away and sharing some pictures, so be on the lookout for that. And I just want to say thank you. We always give our audience, I mean our guests, the last say. You can tell us what you want us to take with us for the week. But before we do that, let me just do a little housekeeping, like we say on the show, just housekeeping about things that we want our audience to kind of be on the lookout for. Because we tell stories from all over Africa, guys, we also want you to patronize people who support African products and manufacture African products. Of course, Hope is one of them. Okay, for those of you who want formal event gowns, who, you know, listen, if you're getting married, you probably want to hook up with Hope. Okay, she will definitely put you together. If you're going for a prom night, a dinner, listen, if you know Darlene Love and you know Darlene loves friends, you can talk to them about Hope so they can come on and get designs made by Hope. So definitely we want you to patronize Hope's designs and all that. I could get my wedding gown from Hope, I don't know. I know, speaking it into existence. But guys, for those of you who are on the African continent, especially in Ghana, we want you to patronize Wear Ghana. They're doing incredible things. Two young women just taking the world by storm with their designs all over Africa right now. I do believe they're out there in Ethiopia or maybe South Africa this week. So listen, you cannot miss them. Please, please find Wear Ghana. Incredible designers out there. Humanity Chats by Margie Marge. It comes on every Thursday at 7:30 in the evening. You want to get on there and just kind of watch the show. She brings on interesting people from all around the world to talk about what they're doing to make the world a better place. You do not want to miss that. Kwa Designs is also another woman who is doing incredible things by fashion. Hey, I do know a fashion designer. Oh, what am I talking about? That could be an incredible collaboration. You never know. We're just speaking it into existence one of these days, right?
Yes.
Music for your quality feet on Sundays. Uncle A Coffee Show and his team just coming together and listening to good quality music from the past, from the future, from now, and just being family every Sunday at 4 p.m. It is incredible. You do not want to miss it. Collateral is also another designer. My goodness, why did I say I didn't know fashion designers? I know. Collateral, another incredible Ghanaian fashion designer whose store is actually on Saks Avenue or Sixth Avenue. I'm not sure, but I know where it is. I totally forgot, but I know where it is.
Saks.
Yeah, Saks Avenue.
Saks.
M. Sims by Mabel Simpson, another incredible designer. Our Kenyan designer, Ryle by Designs. Avonzige Bridals in Ghana. Keys and Credo by Nana Sapon. Horseman Shoes. Of course, Book Nook by Nana Redamo and Kofi Akpagli. Whenever you need books in Africa, out of Africa, just go on booknook.store and you will not miss the books you're looking for, especially the ones you were reading way back then and you can't find them anywhere. Not even Amazon has them. Okay, this is the big Amazon of Africa. Do not miss Book Nook. Okay, Kunda Kids, we want to raise our kids right from jump, knowing exactly who they are and where they come from and their history. So you want to start by Kunda Kids. Okay, I mean, Peppa Pig is great and everything, but Kunda Kids is top notch. I promise you that. They were here and they did incredible things. For our monthly donors, we want to thank, of course, our dear Mama Rose Machayo. Thank you so much for always being an incredible supporter. And to my younger self, Jane Fiorito, Auntie B, EKD, EJOD, Dr. Viv out of Florida. You guys are incredible. For everyone that's giving us comments with stars, thank you, thank you, thank you. To my younger self will not be what it is today without you. So we are very, very, very grateful. Okay, housekeeping is done. Actually, next week we're going to have two people on the show, and we're going to be telling you about that during the course of the week. All right? Hope, what would be the last thing you would like for us to take with us for the week?
Well, this is what I have to say. I'm a Christian,
Mhm.
and everything I do is because of the Lord. I know the gift I have is because of the Lord, and the Bible says your gift will make room for you before great and mighty men. But what I want to say is the word says, "In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your path." And if you keep that in mind, we all have challenges. We all aspire to different things. We all have different situations. But if we take a moment and just stop and say, God, what am I supposed to do today? Whether it be a great thing or a sad situation, it doesn't matter what the situation is. Just stop and say, God, what am I supposed to do? Because let me tell you, sometimes you may not have an impression as to what He wants you to do, but He may bring somebody across your path, or your situations change completely. You go, oh my God, that had to be God. So in all thy ways, acknowledge Him,
God.
and He will direct your path. That's what I have to say.
Wow. Amen. Thank you so much for that. But I think we have to go out on a big high. So Elsie Dixon says, Hope Wade, costume designer for Wakanda 3. We said
All
it
right.
first.
All right.
I really love that amount of faith. Listen, we said it here first. And so when you do get to, because you will, when you design all of these incredible costumes on Wakanda 3, you
Yes.
just have to mention to my younger self. That's all we ask.
That's it.
Guys, it has been incredible. It's been incredible hanging with you, Hope. And for all of you guys who showed up today, thank you. I forgot to tell you to share because we just enjoy ourselves so much. We forget to do all of the stuff that other people do, like share the button and all that stuff. But I know you had fun. So listen, share, okay? And let other people enjoy this incredible woman of God, incredible designer, and of course, the now we're going to speak in faith, the 2025 designer for Wakanda 3, Black Panther. Here we go. Hope, it has been such a wonderful time hanging with you. We will see you guys next week with another episode of To My Younger Self. My name is Zoe Baraka. I've been in the studio with Hope Wade, and we will see you next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful time, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.